Hold up. Yeah.
It's 6 o'clock here local time and the sun is starting to set. Welcome to qualifying in Bahrain. Before the cars take to the track to start qualifying, who are you expecting to have a good session today?
Well, I certainly think Sebastian will be strong here. He really loves this circuit, and as long as he has the car performance, you can expect him to be right up there challenging for pole.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is FoxyDude98 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on my channel. Today we're back with the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is round 4 of the 2015 F1 season. We'll be starting things off, unfortunately, on a bit of a bad note. Now, whilst I was doing this Grand Prix, at the end of the race, what you can do is you can go into replay mode, which is where I get the replay cameras. So when I show you highlights of the starts or different drivers' POVs, you can get, that's where I get all the stuff. I go to the replay cameras. However, when I went onto the replay cameras after this race had finished, my game just crashed. It just sent me straight back to the Xbox dashboard. The results are completely saved, so whatever happens in this race, it all saved. But unfortunately, I couldn't get you any replay cameras at all because the thing crashed. So you're going to only be seeing my POV for today's Grand Prix. So I'm sorry about that, and I hope you guys still enjoy this race anyway. And I want to thank you so much for the support you give on these F1 videos. It's absolutely awesome. I will be doing some more Black Ops 2 videos, for an example, or stuff like that in the near future. I just need to get a bit of time to record. I'm a little bit busy right now, which is why I've pre-recorded pretty much a lot of these F1 races, so I can just put them out when I need to, because obviously I'm busy. So when I get time, I can then jump onto Black Ops 2, and I don't need to worry about not uploading for a day on YouTube. So I'm sorry if you don't like these videos, but I will be doing some other ones in the future. Don't worry about that. But we're going to continue now with this qualifying session here. Lewis Hamilton, as you can see, is currently in front of us. We're currently third at the moment. We're going to see if we can get any closer. Unfortunately, going into the final corner here, we actually run wide, and that loses us a small bit of time. But you can see this is the closest qualifying session I've had to Hamilton against Legend AIs. We qualify in third, about 0.3 of a second slower than Lewis Hamilton, and our objective again was 5th and above. So Sebastian Vettel happy with the results, and he's going to be smiling, talking to Jeff. And I'll let the commentators say their little bit, and I'll get back to you.
It's been a mighty qualifying performance from Mercedes today, with both cars on the front row for the race tomorrow.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
It's nearly 6 o'clock in the evening here in Sakhir, and that means it's nearly time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
He'll want to end this weekend on a high after yesterday's fantastic performance, but he's going to have a lot of competition. I doubt he'll be expecting an easy race, especially considering the teams around him.
Lewis Hamilton described the win last time out as one of the best of his career. With the strength of that Mercedes this season, he has the perfect tool at his disposal to get more race wins.
Well, we all know how good Lewis can be when his mind is in the right place. He can be really hard on himself though when things don't go his way, but when they do, he's pretty much unbeatable.
Then, so we are back here with the Grand Prix itself here. We've got the strategy there, pitting on either lap 6 or lap 7. We're going to be going option prime for today's Grand Prix. We start third on the grid, which is our highest grid position. Actually, no, we start on pole in Australia, but anyway, lights out and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. A bit of a decent start from us. Kimi Raikkonen, though, as you'll see on the right-hand side of your pick today, gets a better start than us. But as we go down into turn 1, we spot a gap here, brake really late, lock up the rear wheels, and we have taken the lead at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Hamilton comes back into us at turn 2. There's no space for Lewis Hamilton, and we go into rich fuel mixture in getting away. And you can see we've already built a gap, but that's the perfect start. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I got the lead into this Bahrain Grand Prix, and now this means that I can dictate this whole Grand Prix from now on. My main attribute in Formula 1 for this year is defending. It's my biggest stat. It's what I'm always good at. I'll always be able to defend and outbrake drivers going into the hairpin corners to either defend my position or even overtake. And now it is my job to dictate this race. I am the race leader, and whenever someone tries to make a move on me, I will always be able to... I won't say always, but I've got a good chance of defending them. But We come now down towards this main straight here. You can see Hamilton second, Rosberg third. I think Raikkonen's in fourth or fifth. And then the two Williams, I think, come behind that. But it's the perfect start, the best getaway possible. I would have shown you a replay of the start, but unfortunately, because we don't have any replay cameras, I can't show you them. But we're comfortably taking the lead here. We've got, I think it's about 7/10 of a second gap to Lewis Hamilton behind. So it's not really strong at all. I was in rich fuel mixture, but as we come down to pit straight to start lap 2, I went back into standard fuel mixture because the Mercedes are quicker than I am, obviously. So I need to make sure I go back onto the standard fuel mixture and just dictate the race. I need to just defend. I need to race my heart out to make sure that I keep this win. Keep the win. Or if I don't, then I'm not going to finish first. It's as simple as that. But we come down the main straight here to finish lap 1. We set purple of the Grand Prix because obviously we were the first ones to cross the line for the end of the first lap. Now it's basically about keeping the two Mercedes back and possibly maybe even my teammate, maybe even the Williams cars, because you never know, I could build a train. But Hamilton gets close to us, but he's not going to get quite close enough to challenge us going up into turn 4 and now coming towards this difficult section of the Bahrain circuit. I can easily keep Hamilton behind because there's not really many places to overtake. We run a little bit wide, not hitting the apex there going into that corner, but now coming into this difficult, tight right-hander. We again missed the apex. We're going to skip to lap 3 now. Rosberg setting the fastest lap of the race here. I go into lean fuel mixture, trying to save myself some fuel. Run very wide going into turn 1, completely missing the apex here. Rosberg and Hamilton battling behind me. Luckily, I don't lose any positions, and we can continue staying in the lead here. Hamilton and Rosberg, I jump out of the slipstream of both the Mercedes cars, but they're now battling each other as we head down in towards turn 3 here. Turn 4, sorry, it's not turn 3. And we keep on accelerating hard as we possibly can, braking into this difficult little twisty section of the circuit. Luckily, the two Mercedes cars aren't getting anywhere near me, so that is perfectly fine, and I will happily accept that. So, Hamilton and Rosberg still scrapping away here. Rosberg, I think, is just in front of Lewis Hamilton as they come now down towards this difficult section here. But yellow flags behind. There's someone that's back there. Rosberg's actually spun. Rosberg was in front of Hamilton going into the corner. He's going into this left-hander that was the difficult one. So Rosberg has either turned in too much and has hit Hamilton and has spun round, or Hamilton didn't give Rosberg enough space. But whatever's happened, Rosberg's dropped down the order, and now it's up to me and Hamilton to scrap. Hamilton with DRS here, lap 4 on this main straight with DRS in hand, where we take the outside line into this corner, and eventually that puts us onto the racing line. Hamilton has to back out of it, and we keep this race. You can see I'm just dictating the Grand Prix. The AIs are really doing their best to get past me, but I'm driving so well for my likings. But here's a tip for you guys. So as you can see on the main straight here, I'm nowhere on the racing line. You can see the AIs there on the racing line. They do not move over to get in your slipstream. If you're on the racing line, the AIs will get your slipstream. It's as simple as that. You can see it here again. I moved out of the racing line. Hamilton, you can see there with DRS, but he's not closing in on me because he's not going into my slipstream. He's going to be closing in on me because he's got DRS, but you can see it there. And then I put myself onto the racing line to give me the best entrance and entry and exit out of the corners. But that's a good tip for you guys if you're struggling to maintain the lead. Make sure you're out of the slipstream of the car behind you, because they do not follow you to get in your slipstream. They will just simply stay on the racing line. The only time they'll actually move over to the other side of the circuit is when you're attacking them. So it's a good tip for you guys there, is to try and stay out of the slipstream. Just move off the racing line a little bit, and the AIs won't follow you, and it'll give you an easy opportunity to try and dictate the race. But we're on lap 5, still trying to defend off Lewis Hamilton, Raikkonen, and I think that's Valtteri Bottas there as well. So he's going to keep us close company as we head down towards this difficult left-hander, which caught me out a couple of times, but it didn't also catch me out. But Hamilton here with DRS, we're going to have to squeeze him wide because he's got a better entry than I. You can see him on the side pod there. Hamilton's going to take the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, but we don't let that happen. We outbrake Lewis Hamilton round the inside, and also going round the outside here. We again defending like it means everything to us. Well, it does mean everything to us because I've never won a race on Legend AI, and I've got a perfect opportunity. But we're on to lap 6. Again, Raikkonen here has taken Hamilton, but Hamilton goes and gets Raikkonen's slipstream and then gets my slipstream as well, because I moved off the racing line and Hamilton was directly behind me. So he got a double slipstream there. Luckily, though, it didn't make us lose the lead. We jump into the pits. Lewis Hamilton is going to follow us in, though he does not want to be on the option tyres any longer. Neither do I. I went a lap longer than what was said for me. I was going to come in on lap 6, so I was coming on lap 7. But a sweet little pit stop from the Ferrari team, and Hamilton seems to have been held up just a little bit, which has given us just a little bit of a breathing space on Hamilton. no doubt he'll probably start catching us up near the end of the Grand Prix. But hopefully we can try and maintain the gap between me and Hamilton, and we can continue on our way into hopefully picking up our second win of the season. Our first win coming in Malaysia. Hopefully we can do the same thing again in Bahrain. But we come out of the pits here, and this weird glitch that happens, it always makes you really, really slow when you come out of the pits. It's a random glitch that happens. We're going to come down towards turn 4 now. It happens again here. You can see I brake hard into turn 4, chucks me into third gear. I'm accelerating, and nothing's happening, but we're not going to get to that point. But we're going to continue now. We are on lap 7. This is coming up to the end of the lap. We've just finished our out lap on these prime tyres, and the rest of the field are coming into the pits. You can see Raikkonen is there, and Bottas coming out of the pits. Can we jump them both? We do manage to jump both of them just about. Really tight between me and the rest of Raikkonen and Bottas. But crucially, Bottas and Raikkonen have both jumped Lewis Hamilton because Hamilton had a poor stop and lost a bit of time. You saw you got held up in the pit lane because there were other drivers coming in, and Bottas and Raikkonen have taken Hamilton, which is good for me because at the moment, I'm surprised I'm saying this, but Jenson Button leads the Grand Prix in the McLaren Honda, but he's still got a pit stop to make, so don't get too excited that Button's there leading the Grand Prix. But I wanted to get past him as soon as possible because I have a small gap to Bottas because he's trying to get his tyres up to temperature, and I wanted to keep that gap. Now I tried to go for the inside on Button here, hit the curb, locked up, hit Button, and unfortunately I made the overtake. So it wasn't a fair overtake. I completely admit that. I hit the curb, lost the back end, and hit into Button, but nevertheless I wanted to get past Button, so I wasn't going to hold the place up too much. And Button was slow anyway. I could have probably gotten him down this DRS straight, but I didn't want to lose time to Hamilton, because you can see on lap 11, Lewis Hamilton has overtaken both Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen, and Hamilton is a man on a mission. He wants this win here in Bahrain. Hamilton really closing on us down into this pit straight. I squeeze out the inside, I squeeze out the racing line to give him the most difficult entry into turn 1 and into turn 2, coming through turn 3, now up the hill towards turn 4. Lap 12 for this race. We have got 3 more to go. This one and then 13 and 14. And hopefully we can try. We just want to win this race. I want to do really well. And we come towards this difficult left-hander here. Managed to absolutely perfectly hit the apex. I come off the racing line. Hamilton now with DRS. He's going to be right behind me. Slipstream, DRS. He's got the Mercedes powered engine. But again, I do not go in the slipstream of Hamilton. I don't let him get my slipstream. And again, I managed to fend off Lewis Hamilton. It happened again. I managed to pick out all the spots where the AIs were definitely going to overtake me, which was the back straight, and the 2 DRS straights, and the run up to turn 4. They're the 4 straights that the AIs are most likely will definitely get a slipstream and get me. We're coming towards the final lap of the race now. Hamilton very, very quick with the DRS, braking into turn 1. And we fend him off. So I managed to, the 4 main straights that I knew the AIs would get a good slipstream and overtake me on, I always backed out of the slipstream. I didn't want them anywhere near me. You can see it again. Weave over to the middle of the circuit. Hamilton's got no slipstream, and my Ferrari package was slightly quicker on the straights than the Mercedes. That's how I set up the car, because I can handle a small bit of understeer, and with 4 long straights, I wanted to make sure that I maximise the power of the Ferrari as we break now down towards this little corner, this right-hander, which I didn't even hit the apex for. But that is going to be it. We just have 3 more straights, or 2.5 more straights. We've got this final DRS zone here. This is Hamilton's last chance to get himself an overtake on me. You can see I stick way out of the slipstream. Again, Hamilton, though, is going to be getting back in our slipstream. DRS in hand. I give him a little bit of a push, move him over to the one side. I give Hamilton the room. But again, Hamilton has been defended. This is probably one of my favourite Grand Prix ever to race in. Just because the AIs, they really give you a tough race. And this made me race like I've never raced in Formula 1 before. Backing out of the slipstream again now, coming towards this back straight. We've got 1 more right-hander to get through. And then we've got the pit straight. We've got the run down to the finish line. You can see braking, perfect apex, great exit here. We back out of the slipstream of Hamilton. Unfortunately, we actually went into the slipstream a bit. Hamilton with DRS, we just crossed the line, and we take the win with Sebastian Vettel for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Fantastic result for Ferrari. We've now closed that gap between us and Hamilton. It's now down to 3 points now in the championship. You can see we've taken our 2nd win of the season. My first win on Legend AI, so I was really proud about it. And again, like I said, I managed to get into the lead of the Grand Prix, and I dictated the race, saw where the AIs were most likely to overtake me, backed out of the slipstream, but Sebastian Vettel taking a brilliant win here for Ferrari, and champagne flying everywhere. But They're now going to take their pictures, and then I'll be back with you in a second to outro the video when the commentators say their little bit.
Another race win for the team from Maranello. The grandstands are awash with red flags to salute their man.
What a weekend it's been, and one that's been thoroughly enjoyable.
After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
Alright then guys, so if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to absolutely smash that like button, it'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe for some more daily content here on my channel. You can see the gap is 3 points and 1 point in the Constructors Championships. But until then, I'll see you in another video. Take care. Goodbye.